When we think of the London Underground, we often picture the iconic roundel, the winding tube lines of Harry Beck's map, or the reassuring cadence of Mind the Gap. But another unsung hero of London's transport identity is its typeface, the font that quietly unifies over 250 stations, thousands of signs, and millions of journeys. The history of fonts used in the London Underground is not just a story of typography. It's a story of design, modernism, and the power of visual clarity in a chaotic world. At the turn of the 20th century, the London Underground was not the unified system we know today. It was a patchwork of competing rail companies, each with its own signage, design style, and logo. This lack of cohesion made the network visually confusing. It was against this backdrop that Frank Pick, commercial manager of the Underground Electric Railways Company of London, UERL, set out to transform not just the transit system, but its identity. Pick believed that public transport deserved thoughtful, high-quality design. He sought to establish a consistent and modern visual language for the Underground, and central to this was typography. In 1913, Pick commissioned calligrapher and typographer Edward Johnston to create a new typeface for the Underground. The result, unveiled in 1916, was Johnston Sans, a clean sans serif typeface that marked a radical departure from the ornate Victorian lettering then common in public signage. Johnston's design was modern, yet rooted in tradition. It was based on classical Roman proportions but stripped of serifs and decoration. Its most distinctive feature was the perfectly round dot over the lowercase I and the diamond-shaped punctuation marks. It was simple, legible, and unmistakably British, a perfect fit for the capital's underground arteries. The aim was clarity. A typeface that could be read quickly by commuters rushing through stations, yet elegant enough to stand the test of time. Johnston Sans became more than just a font. It became a public symbol of reliability and rationality in a rapidly changing city. Johnston Sans defined the Underground's identity for decades. But by the 1970s, the font, like much of the system, was showing signs of wear. Graphic designer Colin Banks of Banks & Miles was asked to modernize the typeface while preserving its spirit. In 1979, New Johnston was born. Banks retained the characteristic roundness and warmth of Johnston's original, but made subtle adjustments to improve legibility and versatility, especially for use in new digital and print formats. Letters were redrawn with more even stroke widths, and italic styles were introduced. New Johnston maintained the font's connection to the original while updating it for a new era, much like the Underground itself, which was undergoing modernization in the late 20th century. To mark the centenary of Johnston's typeface, Transport for London, TfL, commissioned Johnston 100 in 2016. Developed by type foundry Monotype, this version stayed true to the principles of the original, but expanded the type family to include light and heavy weights. Johnston 100 was not a reinvention, but a respectful restoration and a tribute to the timelessness of the original design. It allowed TfL to bring its iconic brand into the digital age without losing its visual DNA. The fonts used in the London Underground have become part of the city's cultural fabric. They are not just utilitarian tools, they are symbols of order, modernity, and civic pride. Johnston Sans and its successors have influenced countless other designs, from National Rail's signage to the NHS's visual identity. The typeface even became a political and artistic symbol. The history of fonts used in the London Underground is more than a story of graphic design. It's a history of how visual clarity can shape a city's identity. From Edward Johnston's 1916 typeface to Johnston 100 a century later, the Underground's fonts have guided millions while setting global standards for design in public space. In a network where time is tight and signs are everywhere, typography matters, and in London, it speaks in Johnston.